कोई एक चेक भी करना बैठना वाले ठीक है ऑडिबल
ठीक है welcome guys, we are here for the auction of EPL season 2. So please everyone. So, so before we proceed with the auction, let us first introduce all our very capable captains. First and foremost, the captain of the winning team, which is Mr. Ajit Fernandez. So I would like to first introduce Mr. Ajit Fernandez. He said himself that he's the Roger Federer of table tennis and Mr. Do It All. So if you're looking for a jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one, please take a good look at him. The next is Mr. Alistair Natar. Saves people off the field, kills bowlers on the field, single-handedly generating revenue for both Oyo and the restaurant. Next in the house we have Mr. Johnson Gaikwad, very capable man. His actually does not need an introduction. His options will do the introduction for himself. Then we have Mr. Selvin Santner. For the first time, this is the first time his name has been pronounced correctly.
Not really, but okay.
So, the person with the most Guinness World Records in Airoli, and all the Guinness World Records are here at this place. So, the tattooed Indian here in the flesh. So, we'll start with the options. The first option goes to.
Okay, so you all can show it on the camera just in case. So we have Aryan and Ronald, of course, who are here for the help with our backstage work. We have Elita as well, and we have Selvin Gomez, who's managing the stream. And the first person,
The first option for the day is Royston Lobo.
Royston Lobo. Wow.
Yes, we have Royston Lobo on the table.
Super
Base
sense.
price is 20 points. Let's start with the option.
20.
20 by Selvin. Do we hear a increase of 10 points?
10, 10, 10. Okay.
Next,
50.
50 by Selvin. 80 by Johnson.
100.
100 by Selvin. 130 by Johnson.
150.
150 by Selvin. We need a increase of 20 points, everyone. We want to hear from Ajit and Alistair.
170.
No. 170 by Johnson. Royston Lobo, very capable player.
200.
200 by Selvin. 210. Guys, please remember this is a open category player. We need a increase of 20 points.
Right? 10. 10. 20, 20. 20.
20 by Johnson.
240.
240 by Selvin.
280.
280 by Johnson. Please remember, Royston, if you're watching this, these people are not interested in
Yeah, these two. 300.
300. 300 by Selvin.
Good player.
330.
330 by Johnson.
350.
350 by Selvin. You can enter the option at any point, Alistair and Ajit. If you don't know, you can enter the option at any point. 330 by Selvin.
350 by
350 by Selvin for Royston. 370 by Johnson for Royston Lobo.
390.
390. Do we hear a 410? Do we hear a 410 from anyone?
420.
420 by Johnson. 420. Very generous.
440.
440 by Selvin. Do we hear a 460? Minimum bid? 460 anyone? Ajit, Alistair, Johnny? No?
460.
460 by Ajit.
Oh my god.
In the tights now, 460 by Ajit. Selvin, do I hear the 480? No, 460. 461, 462, 463. Sold to Ajit. The first option, Royston Lobo, goes to Airoli Avengers.
Wow, we wanted to be Airoli Avengers as well. Wonderful. That's one No, it's his debut season.
Right?
That is one. 460.
462, yes. Open category. So,
Let's go
let's
ahead.
proceed to the next. Next up is our very own option here. The not the better one, the Aryan, Mr. The Aryan Colasso.
There you go. 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start again.
Mr. Aryan Colasso, captain for Galaxy of Greats. MVP also. Okay, let's start at base price, which is 10 for Aryan. Okay, 200. We begin with 200 points for Aryan. Very happy.
500.
500 for Aryan.
800.
800 for Aryan Colasso. Oh my god, I cannot take this.
900.
900 for Aryan Colasso.
1000.
What? 6. From here onwards, we only accept bets that 15. Okay?
1050, 1100 paisa.
Next bet is 1050. Do I hear anything from any other captain?
1100.
1100 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. MVP screens.
1150.
1150 for Aryan Colasso.
1250.
1300 by Johnny for Aryan Colasso.
1350.
1350 for Aryan Colasso. Aryan seems very happy.
1450.
1450 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. Do I hear anything that 1500 for Mr. Aryan Colasso? 1550. I say my voice. Do I hear something for 1700? Do we draw?
1600.
1600 for Mr. Aryan Colasso.
1650.
1650 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. 1650 points for Mr. Aryan Colasso. That's 1700 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. 1750 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. The MVP sure holds a lot of price and worth.
1800.
1800. We have crossed the 30% mark. For the first 1800, Shelvin is willing to spend for Mr. Aryan Colasso. 1800 points. Do I hear an 1850 for the MVP of last season? Do I hear an 1850? Captains, 1850 by the vice captain for his own captain. 1850 points for Mr. Aryan Colasso. 1851. 1900 for Mr. Aryan Colasso. Aryan cannot exist years.
1950. That's the highest in the history of APL.
Mr. Aryan Colasso.
Last season's highest was matched at 1850.
2000.
2000 for Aryan Colasso. I hope the Aryan Colasso is of Gallister grades and not Mavericks. 2000 points for Mr. Aryan Colasso. Do I hear 2050? Do I hear 2050?
Out.
2051. 2001.
2050.
2050 for Aryan Colasso. Ajit pulling the strings Ajit pulling the strings correct. 2050, 2051, 2052, 2053. So to Ajit for 2050 points. Aryan Colasso.
So, I'm just saying this in general for everybody watching, just in case Ajit exceeds the budget, just in case. And if Aryan is the highest rate, he must get 125 back. And he cannot bid for Aryan just in case. 1020, 1030. Right? And for everybody watching, Aryan is currently blushing, so.
So Ajit has already spent half of his purse. He has to assemble a team with the other half of his turn.
So just in case you have left the Benzi. Guys, if you all want to comment, please go ahead. We can read the comments and we'll reply to it.
Next up on the auction is Mr. Benzi. 35 plus special category. This one here.
Just ask again. Hear us clearly, just in case, if not, let us know.
Okay, the next up on the table is Mr. Benzi, 35 plus special category player. Here, anything above the base price, which is 20. Let's start.
300.
300 for Benzi.
350.
350 for Benzi by Johnson Gaikwad.
500.
500 still looking to open the
520.
520 by Johnson.
500. 20.
520. 520 by Johnson.
600.
600 by Alistair for Benzi. Open category player, special category player must needed. 600 by Alistair for Benzi. Do I hear a 620? Anyone? 620 for Benzi. Anyone? No? 601, 602, 603. Sold. Sold to Alistair. 600 points Benzi. Special category player.
He's available to practice weekday and weekend evenings when his captain is not available.
That's why he's beaten. So then
Next up on the table is Mr. Jackson. Special category Mr. Jackson. We'll start with the base price, which is 20 points. Do I hear 30?
Yeah, 30.
30 by Selvin for Jackson. 50 by Johnson for Jackson. Do I hear 60 points for Jackson? Do I hear 60 by Selvin. 100 by Johnson for Jackson. Oh, special category player Jackson. 100 points. Current bid stands 120 points for Jackson.
150.
150 by Johnson for Jackson.
180.
180 by Selvin.
200.
200. We are currently calling for Jackson. at 200 points.
220.
220 points. Who are here at 230 for Johnson? 240 for Jackson.
So we 10 and 20. 250.
250 by Selvin.
270.
270 by Johnson.
280.
280 by Selvin for the special category player.
Yes.
300 for Jackson. Bid on the table 300 points.
310.
310 by Selvin.
Oh, sorry, 320.
320 by Selvin. Nobody else. Any captain? Okay. 320 points stands the bid for Jackson. 321, 322, 323 sold to Selvin. Selvin has opened his team's lineup with Jackson's special category player.
क्या नाम
320 points.
Jackson.
अभी इसका नाम
Jackson.
This is which one?
Masquerades.
So next up on the table we have Darren Mascarenhas, captain of previously existing team in APL season 1. Darren Mascarenhas, team Almighty.
How much is Jackson gone for?
20 points. Okay, so we start with a base price which is 20 points for Darren Mascarenhas.
100.
Very efficient bowler.
200.
200 by Johnson, his best mate. The other Johnson, sorry.
Yes.
200 points for Darren Mascarenhas.
220.
220 for Darren Mascarenhas. 300 for Darren Mascarenhas.
320.
320 by Selvin. 350 by Johnson. Do I hear a 360, 370? Anyone? Any captain?
One captain.
350 by Johnson.
the last time captain, na?
360.
360 by Selvin for Darren Mascarenhas. 400 for Darren Mascarenhas. Still less for the capability he can provide. 400 for Darren Mascarenhas.
420.
420. That's the spirit. 420 for Darren Mascarenhas. 440 for Darren Mascarenhas. 440 for Darren Mascarenhas.
460.
460. Alistair, you can not text her. Okay. 500 for Darren Mascarenhas by Johnson.
550. Make 5.
520.
520.
520 for Darren Mascarenhas. 540 for Darren Mascarenhas. We are reaching
560.
560, 10% mark. 600 for Darren Mascarenhas by Johnson. Loyal challenge, the winning team of the previous season.
620.
620. Selvin has made his intentions clear. 620. Selvin was Darren's team. 650. Johnson doesn't let him back. 650 for Darren Mascarenhas.
670.
670 by Selvin for Darren Mascarenhas.
690.
690.
700.
700. That's the spirit. 700 for Darren Mascarenhas.
710.
710. 710.
50.
750 by Selvin for Darren Mascarenhas.
760.
760 for Darren Mascarenhas.
770.
770 by Selvin for Darren Mascarenhas.
780.
780 by Johnson for Darren Mascarenhas.
800.
800 by Selvin for Darren Mascarenhas. Will Darren Mascarenhas join the Wolf pack or will Johnny snatch him away? Darren Mascarenhas at 800 points current. Do I hear anything? Johnny, Alistair, Ajit. No bid. 801, 802, 803 sold to the Wolf pack. Darren Mascarenhas to Wolf pack. Okay, moving on to the next item on the table. We have Mr. Augustine.
Nice. Open category.
Open category. 800. Mr. Augustine, open category player, starting at base price 20 points. Do I hear a 30? Augustine, just so we know, if you skip the auction, he'll enter the second round and then you can bid for him again. So there is no necessity to complete with Augustine. Open category player. Do I hear any bids? Current bid, which is my bid. So there are 20 points.
20.
20 points base price by Ajit. Ajit playing smart, saving his purse, filling his team. So 20 points by Ajit for Augustine. Do I hear any other bids from the captain? No. 21.
30.
30 by Alison Nadal. 30 points for Augustine. Any other bids, captains? Do I hear a 40?
40.
40 by Ajit. 40 for Augustine. 50 by Alistair. 50 for Augustine. 50 points. The current bid stands at 50 points.
60.
60 points. You know, 60 points. Do I hear a 70? 70 points. Do I hear a 70?
70.
70 points by Alison Nadal. That's the spirit.
80.
80 points by Ajit. 80 points for Augustine. 80 points. Do I hear a 90? 90 anyone? 90? 90 as in not that 90. Do I hear a 90? No, 80 is the current bid for Augustine. 81, 82, 83. Sold to Ajit. 80 points. Augustine.
He has to leave early, I think. But our team bana diyega.
Okay. Moving on to the next item on the table, we have Darren Montero. Action. Bola. Darren Montero. We have Mr. Darren Montero.
Darren, call it.
Darren is his brother. So we start at the base price, which is 20 points.
50.
50 by
60.
John, 60 by 7 for Darren. 100. Do I hear 110?
110.
110. 150 by Johnson for Darren Montero. 150 is the current bid.
160.
160. Okay, let's hurry up. 200. 200 for Darren Montero. Next.
210.
210 by 7 for Darren Montero. 250. 250 by Johnson for Darren Montero.
260.
260 points. 300 points for Darren Montero. 300, 301, 202, 303, 310, 310 for Alison Nadal, 310, 320, and the bring the dust. Alison strikes again. 330 by Alison Nadal, 350 by Jonathan for Darren Montero. 350 is the current bid. Do I hear a 360?
Once again.
Do I hear a 360? 350 points for
Once again.
Darren Montero by Johnson. 351, 352,
360.
360 for Darren Montero. Out. That means no other bids for Darren on the table. 361, 362, 363. Sold to Alistair Darren Montero.
अरे बेचारा 2 बार चला गया देखने के लिए.
How much? And
1860.
Darren. चलो like R-A-E.
Okay. For all those watching, please make a note that Mr. Johnny hasn't opened his lineup.
360.
Mr. Johnny sits at 5,000 with his purse full. Johnny, you cannot play by yourself, just so you know, even though that is what you're planning. Okay, the next item on the table.
भाई लड़की आ गई तो क्या लड़की है.
Darren. Okay, Mr. Cool, Mr. Rockstar, Mr. Darren. Darren Pinto starts at 100 points. 200 points, 200 special category player Darren Pinto, 200 points. 300 points by Johnson.
350.
350 by Selvin for Darren Pinto. 400 for Darren Pinto by Johnson.
450.
450 points.
470.
470 on the table.
500.
500 on the table.
542.
540 on the table for Darren Pinto.
600.
600 by Selvin for Darren Pinto. 650 do I hear 700? 700 for Darren Pinto by Selvin. 750 for Darren Pinto.
800.
800 for Darren Pinto on the table.
900.
900 points for Darren Pinto.
950.
950, we are approaching the 20% mark. 980 points for Darren Pinto.
980 मतलब 50.
20 points.
980.
980 points is the current bid stacking for Darren Pinto. Do I hear a 1000 point mark? Do I hear a 1000? No. 981, 982, 983 sold to Mr. Johnny.
Well then.
Royal challenges. The first player to enter Johnny's pavilion is Darren Pinto, and I hope he's very happy right now.
Yes.
Special category 980.
Larsen किधर गया था Darren Pinto?
हाँ. Yes.
Darren Pinto over 35 होगा नहीं?
वही.
He was there last year.
Yes. Just in the team.
Okay, so moving on to the next player, not item, player. Clinton. We have Clinton. Open category. Open category. Clinton start at base price which is 20 points. Go here and wait for Clinton. Clinton that played for Galaxy of Greats last year. 20 points. Base price. Vice captain comes in rescue. 20 points Clinton. You are here a 30. Minimum bid increase is 10 points. You are here a 30 for Clinton. 30 for Clinton. 40 for Clinton. 50 points as a spirit, 50 points for Clinton on the table, 50 points, one here is 60. Two are here is 60. 51, 60 points, 60 points as a spirit, 60 points for Clinton. 60 points, 61, 70 points, 70 points by Selvin for Clinton, 70 points, 80 points on the table for Clinton. You are here at 90, 80 points is the current bid, 80 points, 81, 82, 83 sold to Mr. Alistair, 80 points Clinton. Open category player. 80.
Daryl went for 980,
The next player we have on the table is Patrick, not basement, Patrick. Patrick for 20 points, played in Galaxy of Great.
And not available for practice.
Not available for practice.
Fantastic all rounder.
20 points is the base price for Patrick. So I heard 20 points for Patrick. 40 by 7 for Patrick. 50 points. 50 points. One here is 60. 60 for Patrick. 60 for Patrick. 60 for Patrick by 7. 100 points for Patrick. 100 points.
10 or 20?
10.
110.
110 for Patrick by 7 on the table. 110 points for Patrick. Do I hear 120? Do I hear 120? Patrick. 120 for Patrick. 120.
130.
130 for Patrick by Selvin. 150 points for Patrick by Johnson.
160.
160 points for Patrick. 180. 180 points on the table. Anyone else? 180 points. 200 points on the table. 220 points. Do I hear a 230? Do I hear a 230? 230 points. That's it. 230 points. 250 points for Patrick. 250 points. 260 points for Patrick. 260 points. 260 points. Do I hear another bid? Do I hear another bid? 261. 270 points for Patrick. 280 points. 280 points for Patrick. Do I hear another bid? 300 points for Patrick. Stands on the table. 300 points. 310 points for Patrick. 310 1. 320 points. 320 points for Patrick. 330 points. 330 points on the table. 330 points on the table. Is it the captain? 331. 332. 333 sold to Mr. Selvin Patrick for 330 points. Open category player. Very young, very talented. 330.
अपन इसमें पर्स का बैलेंस कुछ बताएंगे नहीं किसी
नहीं अभी बताओ नेक्स्ट
ऐसे 10 में बताएंगे ना इसमें कभी नहीं आएंगे कुछ ये करते रहो 10 नहीं से पता 10 प्लेयर जब
बताओ
हां जब 10 प्लेयर
next player table Mr. Praveen like for Ronaldo Praveen we have Praveen as the next player base price starts at 20 points for Praveen do I hear a base price 20 okay 20 by Mr. Selvin for Praveen 40 the next bid is 40 50 points for Praveen 60 by Johnny for Praveen 60 points on the table current bid stands at 70 points current bid at 70 points 100 points on the table for Praveen 110 that's the bid 110 120 for Praveen 130 for Praveen 130 points on the table 150 for Praveen 150 points for Praveen do I hear a 160 150 points 151 Johnny 150 right 152 153 so Mr. Praveen to Johnson for 150 points open category player Mr. Praveen 150 before we proceed with the next we'd like to highlight the purse amount The purse amount. So right now Ajit has 3 players, excluding himself. Alistair has 3 players, excluding himself. Johnny has found himself 2 players, very capable. Selvin has found himself 3 players. Okay, purse.
So for all challengers, he spent 1130,
So all challengers spent 1130. Purse is
3870.
3870 for all challenges. The purse. Next.
Wolfpack, they've spent 1450.
1450 is spending.
Or 3550.
3550 is the balance.
All Star Fox, we have 1040 spent
1040 spent.
and 3960 balance.
3960 balance for all stars.
Airoli Avengers, we have 2590 spent
2590 is the expense.
and 410 the balance.
410 is the balance for Mr. Ajit. Okay, let's proceed. The tank, the panzer, the everything. Okay, Mr. Sebastian Nadal.
1000.
I should not call him, but woman beater.
1000 सच्ची बोला है?
All
1000.
experiment for all the sixes that all
1000.
points.
Starting with
1000 points for Sammy.
1100.
1100 learning from the past mistakes. For 700.
1200.
1200 for Mr. Saki.
13.
1300 for Saki on the table.
1300.
1400. Okay, let's talk big numbers. 1500. 1450, that's a small number.
1500.
1500 for Saki. Ajit, I looking very promising. 1500.
1600.
1600 for Severus and Nadal. Bowler, batsman, fielder, everything.
1600.
1650 for Severus and Nadal.
1800.
1800, we've reached the 1800 mark.
1850.
1850 for Severus and
1900.
1900, approaching the highest bid, 1900. Vice Selvin, first Severus and Nadal. 1900 points, very capable player. 1900 points. 1900 points for Severus and Nadal. Do I hear another bid? Ajit, Minister, please don't let him slide. 1901, 1902, 1903 sold. Congratulations, Severus and Nadal. 2-7 for 1900 points. Open category player, very open actually.
Time बोल रहे हैं. इसमें क्या?
Selvin, 1900 points.
1900.
Okay. Next up, we have Johnson Martin. Johnson Martin starting bid is $20. 20 points for Johnson Martins. Do I hear a base bid?
20.
20 points by Johnson for Johnson.
30.
30. 30 by Selvin.
20.
50 by Johnson.
100.
100 by Selvin.
150.
150. Very big for fielder, if we call it. 150 points by Johnson for 60. 160 by Selvin.
200.
200 by Johnson.
210.
210. 210 by Selvin.
250.
250 by Johnson. Alistair, I heard something.
You will do that.
That's right. 260.
260.
260 by Selvin. 260 by Selvin for Johnson Martins. 260. 260 points on the table. Do I hear a 270?
300.
300 points for Johnson by Johnson. 300 points. Another bid
310.
coming. 310. 310 is the current bid on the table. 310 points. 310 1.
330.
330. 330. I should do this often. 330. 331. 332.
350.
350 by Johnson. Sorry, by Ajit.
आप भी दे रहे हो भाई.
350 points.
360.
360 by Johnson. 360.1 here, 370.
Yep. 370.
370 by Ajit for Johnson. 370 going here, 380, 380, 371, 372, 373. Johnson sold to Ajit. 370 points. Open category player.
सुपर टीम रोहिस्टन आर्यन जॉनसन. अरे क्या स्पेलिंग लिख रहा है सबका यार यार.
छोड़. Okay. Next up, we have Mr. Sumit, one of the few left arm bowlers. Mr. Sumit Nayak. Base price starts at 20 points. 20 points over here, a base bid, 20 points. Very capable left arm bowler, 20 points. 20, over here 20. No, do we go unsold with Sumit?
20.
20 points, okay, 20 points for Sumit. Over here, the 30, 50 points. 60 points for Sumit. 100 points for Sumit by John. 120 points for Sumit is the current bid.
160.
160 points for Sumit.
180.
180 by Alistair. 180 points for Sumit Nayak by Alistair. 180 points. Do I hear a 190? Do I hear a 190?
190.
190. 190 points for 200 points for Sumit.
220.
220 points for Sumit. 221. 222.
220.
230. 235. Arjit for Sumit. 230 points for the table by Arjit. 230 points in the current bid for Sumit Naik. 230 points left arm bowler. 250 points. 250 points by Johnson. 250 points for Sumit. 250 points. Anyone else? 250 points. 250 points. Anyone to challenge? 50 points. 250 points. 251.
260.
260 points for Sumit. 260 points. 261. 262. 263. So to Arjit. Mr. Sumit Naik. 260 point open category. Left arm bowler.
और एक होते हैं बनाने पड़े बनवाना
Okay, next up is Mr. Ronald. Oh, plays everything, but will only play cricket for this tournament. We have base price 20 points, 20 points. What anything for me? Please.
100.
100,
1, 2, 3.
150.
100, 150.
Sumit 260 ना
Yeah. 150 by Johnson for 200. 200 1 year. 1000, no. 250. 250 by Johnson.
300.
300 by Selvin. 300 points. 300 points on the table.
350.
350 points on the table. 350 points. Do I hear a 360? Do I hear a 360? 350 points. 360 points. 360 points on the table. 400 points. 400. 450 points. 450 points.
500.
500. Do I know? 500 points. 500 points. Do I hear
550.
550 points. 550.
570.
570 points. 570 points for honor on the table. 570 points.
600.
600 points. Do I hear any other bid? Any other captain? 600 points. 600 points is the current bid. 601.
650.
650 points. Thank you, Alistair. 650 points. 650 points is the current bid. 650 points is the current bid. 651. 652. 2020. Now we have 2020.
So
670. 670 by Ajit for honor. 690. 690. 710.
730.
730 by Alistair. 730. 730 points by Alistair. Do I hear a 750? 750 by any other captain. 750 points. 730 is the current bid. 750. 750 by Ajit. 770 by Alistair. 770 is the current bid for honored by Alistair. 770.
Ronald is you, no?
Yeah. For myself, 790, lah.
770.
770 point Alistair for
790.
790. 790 for me. Ajit, 790 points. 790 do I hear an 810. 810 is the next bid. Do I hear a next bid? No. 810. 810 is the current bid. 810. 810 points for me. 810 points.
850.
830. 830 points.
850.
850 points.
870.
870 points.
890.
890 points.
910.
910 points. 910 points for me. 910 points. Do I hear a 930? 910 is the current bid. Do I hear a 930? 910 is the current bid. 931. 930. 931.
First.
931. 932. 933. Sold to Alistair. 930 points.
With a super hard working team. मतलब अभी मैं नहीं आएगा तो रॉनी है.
रॉनी भाई तो इसमें रॉनी है ना?
Oh shit यार. यार मैं क्या करता हूँ आजकल बहुत मजा आता है.
Next player on the table is Miss Alicia Grass. Miss Alicia Grass, overseas player.
Oh, let's go.
Very capable overseas player, captain.
Anisha. He's in Australia. Company.
She'll go.
Ah,
Overseas player, base price is 20. Special category girl. First girl on the table, first girl.
I will start 20.
20 points. 20 points for Alicia by Selvitz. 20 points.
50.
50 points. Special category player. Must needed. Special category.
60.
60 points for Alicia.
100.
100 points for Alicia. 100 points. One here, 110, 120. 110 by Selvin.
150.
150 by Johnson. 150 by Johnson.
160.
160 by Selvin for Alicia Grass. 160 points. 170 points by Johnson for Alicia. Capable batsman and very capable leader. 170 points by Johnson for Alicia Grass. 170 points. Do I hear a 180? No. 171.
200.
200 points by Alistair for Alicia. 220 points by Johnson. 220 points by Johnson.
250.
250 points.
300.
By 300 points. That is fair. 300 points for Alicia Grass. 300 points. On the table, 300 points. 301.
320.
320 points for Alicia Grass.
350.
350 points. The current bid stands 350 points. Anybody will challenge. 350 points is the current bid for Alicia Grass.
370.
370 special category player. 400 players special category player girl. 400 points Johnson. 400 what? 420. That's fair. 420 points. 440 points.
460.
460 points for Alicia.
480.
480. 480. 500 for Alicia.
530.
530 points for Alicia. 20 is the increase amount. 530 current bid Johnson. 530.
550.
550 by Alistair. 550 points by Alistair.
580.
580 by Johnson. 580 points by Johnson for Alicia. 580 points. Do I hear a 600?
600.
600 by Alistair for Alicia. 600 points. 600 points for Alicia. Alistair. 600 points.
630.
630. 630 by Johnson for Alicia. 630. Special category girl. Must need it. Special category girl. 630 points on the table. 631.
650.
650. 650 points.
680.
680 points. 680 points. 681.
700.
700 points for Alicia. Do I hear a 720?
720.
720. 720 current bid. 720 current bid. Do I hear 740? 740. Do I hear 740? 721.
740.
740. 740 goes to Alice. 740. Next. Do I hear a 760?
780.
780 by Johnson for Alicia. 780. 781. 782 special category girl. 783 sold. Sold to Johnson. Alicia Grass. First special category player from the girl. 780 points.
No, I don't think Roshan Lobo has realized कि अजीत की टीम है उधर. Common Johnson लेके जा रहा है. Somebody might tell him why he was in a different team.
First, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 15, 16, 17 gone. 17 players are एक करते हैं.
लेकिन तू कर लेना मैंने अपने खुद से ही.
अरे वो ये होता है.
और
3 होंगे तो और 20 थोड़े बार होगा. 2 2 3.
Okay. Next up, the better Colasso, Ryan Colasso. Ryan Colasso is here on the table. 20 points is the base price. Left arm, right point. 200 points. Right off the bat, 200 points for Ryan. 200 points. 210. 210 for Jonty Rhodes. 210.
300.
Ryan Colasso. 300 by Alistair for Ryan Colasso. 300 points.
350.
350. 200.
400.
No, 400. 400 points for Ryan Colasso.
450.
450 by Johnson for Ryan Colasso. 450 points.
500.
500 points by Alistair for Ryan Colasso. 500 points.
550.
550. 550. 600 by Alistair.
700.
700 by Johnson for Ryan Colasso.
750.
750 by Alistair. 800. 800 for Ryan Colasso.
820.
820 for Ryan Colasso. 850 by Johnson for Ryan Colasso. 900 for Ryan Colasso. 900 points by Alistair for Ryan Colasso. Do I hear another bid? Do I hear 920? Do I hear 920? Any captain. 920. 920 points the current bid for Ryan Colasso. 920. 921. 922.
940.
940. 940 points in the current bid for Ryan Colasso. Ryan Colasso 940 points. 940 points. 940 points the current bid. Anybody to challenge? No. None. 941. 940. 960 points. Do I hear a 960 from Ajit? 960 points. By Ajit for Ryan Colasso. Snatching away very price collection of Alistair. 960 points. 960 points. Belongs to the winning team from EPL 1. 960 points by Ajit for Ryan Colasso. 961. 980. 980 points for Ryan Colasso. 1000. 1000. The top of the house. 1000 points for Ryan Colasso. Yeah. 1000 points for Ryan Colasso. 1050. 1050. 1050. 1100 for Ryan Colasso. 1100 points for Ryan Colasso. Why Arjun? Will Ryan proceed to Airoli Avengers? 1101, 1102, 1103. Sold to Ajit Airoli Avenger 1100 Avengers.
Aryan and Ryan together.
Yes.
Real Bajaj Avengers.
Yes. Okay. The next player on the table. Next player is Mr. Rostin. Mr. Rostin. Mr. Rostin starting at 20 points. For those who don't remember, it's probably because he's cut his hair. Rostin, 20 points. Rostin no football. Okay, Rostin football at 20. 20. Rostin in football at 40. 40 points for Johnson. 20. 50 points for Axton. 100 points.
One. Yeah, 20.
One.
110. 500 the cost 200.
200 for Johnson for Austin.
250.
250.
300.
300 for Austin. 350 for Austin.
400.
400 for Austin. 450. 1 year 500.
480.
480. 480 for Austin. 500 for Austin.
520.
520 for Austin. 520 by Johnson for Austin. 5 520. 520 is the current bid. Do I hear any other bid? Do I hear a 540?
550.
550 for Austin. 550 for Austin is the current bid. Nobody else, no challenges. 551, 552, 553. Sold. 550. Rostin sold for 550 points to Alistair. 550 points. Rostin.
Greatest team assembled.
After the next player, we announce the pulse and the expect after the next player. Okay. So next. Ah. Hey, Jason Nadar. Jason Nadar also overseas player, but belongs to our parish, our neighboring parish. Jason Nadar has faced 20 points. Jason Nadar 20 points. Jason Nadar 20 points. 20 points. Very capable player for those who haven't seen him play. Cricket is actually his first sport. Cricket is actually his first sport. Plays very well. Some of our players were 500 by Alistair for Jason. Very capable bowler, very capable batsman.
600.
600 and very capable fielder. 600 points for Jason Nadar. 650 by Alistair for Jason Nadar. 700. For those who don't know, Jason is the referee, the umpire.
750.
750.
800.
800. Do I hear an 850? Do I hear 850 for Jason? Jason 800 points currently.
850.
850 by Alistair. 850 points by Alistair for Jason Nadar. 850 points. I hope you're not exceeding your budget. 850 points by Alistair. 850 points. 851. 852.
900.
900 points. 950 points by Alistair. Alistair surely knows something Ajit doesn't. Or they both know something we don't. 950 points by Alistair. 950 points. 951. 952. 953. Jason Nadar sold to Alistair Nadar for 950 points. Jason Nadar. Okay. We'll announce the versus. They explain the balance. Okay. We'll start with 950 Jason Nadar to Alistair.
And players पे कितना बताना एक टीम
Okay. So we have
Yes, so सामने जो है.
हाँ वही
So budget
6 players excluding Ajit in Avengers, 6 players excluding Alistair in All Stars, 3 players excluding Johnny in Johnny's team, and 4 players in Selvin's team, excluding him.
in total we need 11
Yes.
so all need 4 more
Ajit needs 4 more. All Stars need 4 more players. Royal Challengers need 7 more players. And Wolfpack needs 6 more players.
First.
Royal Challengers are left with 3090.
3090 points for in the hands of Royal Challengers.
Wolfpack has 1650.
1650 for Wolfpack.
All Star Hawks has 1530.
All Star for 1530 remaining balance.
And Airoli Avengers have 680.
680 points and 4 players to go. 680 points.
Thank you very much.
680 for Airoli Avengers.
बच्चा से he has to get it for the
Royston is 550, yeah? Royston?
yes
Yeah. Yes.
680 में 4 player.
मतलब out of which he has to buy 2 girls also
Until the last time 50
and he has to buy 1 25 plus also so Aryan बोला तो हाँ उनका दिमाग का तो उत्तर दे भाई see you back uncle board very soon
Okay. We have a minor in us, sorry, minor amongst us, Nishit. Nishit for 20 points. Nishit, academy level player, 100 points for Nishit. Nishit, 100 points. Nishit MJX2. Nishit, 200 points for Nishit. 200 points.
300.
300 for Nishit by Johnson. 300 points. Very capable player. Bowler, batsman, fielder. Sometimes carry, sometimes not. 300 points by Johnson for Nishit. 300 points. Johnson assembling his own language. 400 by Selvin for Nishit.
500.
500. 500 for Nishit by Johnson. 800. Selvin looking very tense. 800.
850.
850. Johnson very carefree. Has too much to spend.
950.
950 by Selvin for Nishit. 950 points. Selvin for Nishit. 950 points on the table. Will anyone challenge? 951. 952. 953. Nishit sold to Selvin for 950 points.
No, bhai, आगे मेरे में स्पेशल इसमें
Okay. We proceed on to the next player in the pool. The next player in the pool is a special category player, Leanne. Girl. Special category, girl, Leanne. We start with 20 points as the base. 20 points. Do I hear a base? Do I hear a base bid for 20 points? Any captain? Special category must needed. I'm sure 20 points. Okay. 20 points by Selvin.
40.
40 by Johnson for Leanne. 40 points. Right arm bowler. Amazing fielder. 40 points.
50.
50 points by Selvin for Leanne. 50 points. 100 points by Johnson for Leanne. 100 points. Do I hear anything above 100? 100 points for Leanne. 100 points. 100 points by Johnson for Leanne. 100 points. 100 points. 101. 102. 110. 110 for Ajit. 110 points for Ajit.
150.
150 points by Alistair for Leanne. 150 points on the table for Leanne, special category girl, right arm bowler. 150 points for Leanne on the table. Current bid is 150 points, 160. 160. 160 by Ajit, 160.
That's 20.
170 points for Leanne. 170 points. Anyone challenge?
180.
180 points. 180 points by Ajit. 180 points for Leanne.
200.
200 points for Leanne by Alistair. 200 points.
210.
210. 210 on the table. 210. Special category girl. 210 1. 220. 220 points by Alistair. 220 points for Leanne. 20 points. 230 points. 230 points by Ajit for Leanne. 230 points.
240.
240 points.
50.
250 points. 250 points for Leanne by Ajit. 250 points on the table.
260.
260 points on the table. 270 points. 270 points for Leanne. 270 points. Do I hear a 280? Do I hear 280 for Leanne? Special category girl, right arm bowler and fielder. 280 points. 281.
280.
280. 280 is the current bid.
280 बोला.
Yes.
290.
290. 300. 300 is the current bid. 300 is the current bid. Need a girl in your team.
310.
310, 320, 330,
ठीक है सर.
330, 331, 332, 333. Sold. Leanne to Alistair. 330 points by the category girl. Next up, we have special category player Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, special category player 35 plus. Starting at base price, which is 20 points. Base price 20 points, Mr. Bennett. Do I hear a base bid for 20 points for Mr. Bennett? 20 points, anyone? If no bid comes through, we move on to the unsold players. We move him to the unsold players.
20.
20 points. 20 points by Alistair, that's it. 20 points base bid for Bennett. 20 points, 20. Do I hear a 30 for Bennett? 21, 22,
30.
30 points by Selvin for Bennett. 30 points. 31. Do I hear 31? 30, 40 points by Alistair. 40 points. 40 points by Alistair. 40 points. Do I hear anything else? Do I hear any challenges for any captains? 40 points. 41, 42, 50 points by Ajit. 50 points by Ajit. Ajit still has to register one more 35 plus category player.
60.
60 points. 60 points by Alistair. 60 points for Alistair for Bennett. 60 points. Do I hear a 70? Do I hear 70 points for Bennett? Do I hear 70 points? 60 points the current bid. Yes.
70.
70 points. 70 points by Ajit. 70 points by Ajit for Bennett. 70 points.
80.
80 points by Alistair. 90. 90 is the current bid. 90 points. Anybody tackle? Anybody tackle?
100.
100 points for Bennett. 100 points. 110 points.
20.
120 points for Bennett.
30.
130 for Bennett.
140.
140 for Bennett Nadal. 140.
50.
150 for Bennett Nadal. 150 points on the table.
160.
160 is the current bid and you will challenge.
70.
170 points.
180.
180 points.
200.
200 points.
120. 220. 30. 240. Take it.
240. 140 was the current bid and you will challenge. 240 points. Bennett Nadal to Alistair sold.
Tamil Avengers. Even I actually.
Open category. Player from the winning team of Johnson Gaikwad, Ashley. Ashley at base price 20 points. 50 points. 50 points for Ashley.
60.
60 points for Ashley.
100.
100 points by Johnson for Ashley. 100 points to IR 120.
120.
120 for Ashley.
150.
150 for Ashley. 150 points for Ashley on the table. 150 points. Do I hear a 170? 150 for Ashley by Johnson. 151. 152.
Yeah.
160. 170. 170 by Ajit. 170 by Ajit for Johnson. 170. 180. 180 by Johnson. 190. 190 by Ajit. 200. 200 by Johnson.
210.
210. 210 on the table. 210 on the table.
240.
240. 250.
260.
260 on the table.
70.
270.
280.
280.
300.
300. 300 points the current bid for Ashley. 300 points. 320. Do I hear a 340? 340. 340 for Ashley. 340 points. 341. 342. 343. Sold. Sold to Ajit. Ashley for 340 points.
मालूम पड़ गया अभी कितना हुआ प्लेयर
3 बार 8 हुआ 10 11 8 players 9 players बहुत कम
8 9
फर्स्ट डे पे तो लास्ट में अपन यार नानी बैठ के इधर आराम से करेगा 20 मतलब मुझे क्या बता पैसा
25 हुआ
रुक एक प्लेयर आके स्टॉप कर रहे
हां और ये बहुत खर्चा
कर ले कौन है कौन है कौन है
So do you all want the purses to be announced or do we proceed?
पर्स
Purse.
अच्छा प्लेयर है इसलिए पर्स मालूम पड़ रहा है
For Royal Challengers, we have 3090. Full packs have 700.
सारा 700
नहीं नहीं माइनस का
All Star Hawks have 960.
All stars have 960 in the purse.
Princess have 340.
ऑल स्टार्स have got 910 960 मैंने विकल्प कर दिया
960.
240
Red 4040.
240 और 330 है क्या
38.
इसमें 380 लास्ट वन
Avengers is 340, no?
340.
Avengers are 340 in the purse.
and Johnny has got 390 right 3090 हाँ 390
Okay. Next up, we have very capable power hitter. Absent for the APS season 1. Debut for APS season 2. We start at 20 points. We start at 100 points. 100 points. Open category 100 points by Johnson for
110.
Robson. 110, 110, 150, 150 points for Robson. 150 points for Robson.
160
160 points by Stelvin for 170 points by Johnson. 170 points for Johnson.
180
180 points for Robson by Stelvin. 180 points. 180 points. 200 points for Robson. 200 points. 210. 210 do we hear or 220? Do we hear 220? Johnson for Robson. 220 points.
30
230 points. 230 points for Robson. 250 points. 250 points. 250 points for Robson.
260
260 points for Robson by Stelvin.
280
280 points by Johnson. 280 points, 290 points,
Return.
310 points by Johnson. For Robson, 310 points. Right arm batsman. Power hitter. 310 points for Johnson, 310. 1, 320, 320, 340, 350, 350 by Johnson, 360 by Alistair, 400 by 400 by Johnson, 400 by Johnson, 420, 420 points for Robson, 450 by 470 by Alistair, 500 by Johnson, 500 by Johnson, 520, 520 by Alistair, 550 by Johnson, 550 points by Johnson, 550 points by 600 points by Alistair for Robson, 650 by Johnson, 650 points. Do I hear another bid? 650 points is the current bid by Johnson. 650 points by
670.
670 is the 700 for Robson, 700 given in the time moments. 700 is the bid, 701, 700. 800. No, you can't. No?
Why?
You will.
I will. What? Okay. Leave it to me.
800.
Leave it to me, no?
You know what that
I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I think we'll come back if he gets the player. Only if he gets the player. If he doesn't get the player, then I
रिलीज करना पड़ेगा ना बस में है ही
नहीं ट्रांजैक्शन होता है then he'll release. If he gets
मेरा मतलब है कि पर्स में बैलेंस ही नहीं है तो फिर हाउ वी कैन बिड
तो आगे बढ़ा जाना तो
अरे
but how much can he bid? I will get over that na.
if you release one, that is Arya.
I know my man. Yeah, that's my man. Going easy, not clear.
That's a difficult
800 is this bid.
820
820, 840,
860
860 by 880, 900 by Johnson,
20.
920 by Ajit, 1000 RMP is again 80. 1020 by Ajit for Robson, 1050,
70.
1070. We deal 50 is around 1150, 1150. 1150, 1200 for Robson by Johnson.
Okay.
1200 for Robson by Johnson, 201, 202, 1203 sold for 200 points. Robson to Johnson.
सडनली का गया फुल
Aryan का पूरा पोस्ट का ये हो गया टॉप आई सोल्ड
आना पड़ेगा मुझे
नहीं पर्सनल ये तो क्या करना है सब लोग जाएगा
First player in the poll has finally come. Best player Jeffrey. 20 points for Jeffrey.
20
20 points. 20 points for Jeffrey. 50 points. 50 points for El Chapo. 60 points. 60 points. 100 points by Johnson for Jeffrey. 100 points. Capable wicketkeeper. 100 points.
110
110 points. 120 points by Johnson. 120 points for Joy Johnson for Jeffrey. 120 points. 130 points on the table. 130 points. Do I hear another bid? 130, 131, 132, 150 points for Jeffrey. 150 points. 150 points for Jeffrey. 150 points. Do I hear another bid?
We have total 11 players, right?
yeah
Including Alex.
Okay. 151, 152, 153. Sold. Jeffrey sold to Royal Challengers for 150 points. Okay, moving on. Cool. Is before no, इसके पहले बता दें किसी को क्या क्या चाहिए. So Ajit is left with नहीं लड़की के 135 plus and 2 girls. So all special category is not fulfilled for Ajit. All stars 135 plus है.
They have 235 plus the
और 230 प्लस है मेरे को सिर्फ वन गर्ल चाहिए एक ही गर्ल चाहिए मुझे ना
They didn't be the So
150 ना जो भी मुझे एक ही गर्ल चाहिए
okay, Alistair is one girl Manisha has a girl. Loyal challenger.
But he likes, he has to have more, no? He has wants more.
Loyal Challengers has 135 plus player, one girl. So he needs 135 more and one girl more. And Wolfpack Selvin's team has 135 plus and no girls. So he needs 135 plus players and two girls. Sorry, he needs two more girls. Yeah. Okay. The next player in the pool is Tabri, which is Rickson. Tabri Rickson. Rickson for 20 points. Do I hear a base bid for Rickson? 100. We can just have him go unsold to pull a prank. But 100 points for Rickson by Johnson. 100 points for Rickson. 100 points. 200 points. 200 points by Alistair. 200 points for Rickson. 250 points by Johnson for Rickson. 250 points. 250. 300 points. 300 points by Alistair. 350 points by Johnson. 400 points for Rickson. 400 points for Rickson. 500 points by Johnny for Rickson. 500 points. Do I hear a 520 for Rickson? 520 points. Do I hear it? No. 501. 520. 520 by Ajit also putting collateral. 600. 600 by Johnson. 600 points for Rickson. 620 is the next bid. We have a next bid. 620. 620 is the next bid. 620 is the current bid. For Rickson, 620 points. For Tamri, 620 points. Do I hear a 640? For Rickson, 640. For Rickson, 640 is the current bid. Very capable batsman, bowler and fielder and very good entertainer. 650 points, right? 640. 640. 660. 660 is the current bid. 660 is the current bid for Rickson, which means Aryan is back in the pool now. Ajit loses 1000 points from his 130 points, I think. 120 points.
125.
No. So we give you 135 because right you cannot bid fine, right?
1020.
Yeah. You can. So now मैं वो कॉर्नर चल जाए मैं कितने में
Okay. So the rule, Khalid was. So Aryan is back in the pool, right?
Yes.
Okay. Ajit gets half the price.
100
But now we drink 1030. Fine, one stop हो गया ना उनका वापस का confusion. सुनो 1030 उनको वापस मिलेगा 50% हमको फिर हाँ 1030 वापस मिलेगा एक बार चालू करने के पहले बिल टेल कितना परसेंट होगा आर्यन के लिए वापस बिड नहीं कर सकते आर्यन को अपने वापस लिस्ट में ऐड करना पड़ेगा वहां पे स्पिन द बिल में भी नहीं तो तू आएगा ही ना ठीक है दैट इज वन अगर बाई चांस ना अजय ही गोज अगेन एंड वापस होता है कि वापस ये होने वाला है तो अभी जो हाईएस्ट बिड है वो भी पूल में आएगा जस्ट इन केस अभी नो अजित अंकल का पूल था सबका 500
हाईलाइट पे नहीं था नहीं है
1030 दिया तो उनका टोटल प्राइस 3970 हुई है समझ
माइनस 1 उसमें से पहले का टाइम
I have got now 710.
हाँ प्रॉपर
हाँ
you had 340 you had 340 right before making the bid.
Yeah.
So 340 था
So the difference between 140 and
हाँ 130
yeah, loss भी होता है उसमें अपना
हुआ
लॉस
loss भी होता है ना वही बोल रहा हजार नहीं है ना
1020 लॉस हो गया
हाँ वही हो जाए
7
बोलो
हाँ रिलीज करा देगा उधर से
यार सेल्विन भी अभी किसी को निकाल
नहीं मेरे को जो टीम चाहिए था
आर्यन के लिए मेरे को जॉनी आर्यन
मैं सैनिक का ऑर्डर निकाल के तो सैनिक बेचारा था गुजरात से टेक्स्ट कर रहा है मेरे को स्ट्रेटेजी
मेरा गुजरात क्या कर रहा है
एग्जाम तो वेट आया
ये हाँ
30 लोग पे बैठ गए सॉरी आर्यन कोलास को अरे पूर्व में नाम है
ठीक है अगले बार कर आया
नहीं ये वाला करते हैं भाई जी वाला
वो आगे जाएगा
बस
आगे जाएगा ना आगे
विनाश सारे गए
Airoli Avengers have 710.
Okay.
Wolfgang Hawks have 960.
Okay.
Wolfpack has 700. And Royal Challengers have 1890.
एक मिनट बोलो अगर 700 I have got 1740
Who?
जॉनी वापस एक मिनट बोलना
जॉनी मेरा 1740 है
1740
150 मिला है ना
हाँ
अजित अंकल कितना
मेरा 700 तेरा 960 चलो कितना था 1
1740
परफेक्ट I think we can go on now. Next player and after that,
Okay, next is special category girl. Special category girl, Vanessa. Vanessa on the table for 20 points. Vanessa special category girl, good for nothing. Vanessa.
the by community cricket tournament highest wicket taker.
Highest wicket taker.
Vanessa 8, Selvin 7, Nishit 7 था तभी. Aryan Kulas for 25. 20.
20 points for Vanessa by Selvin. 20 points for Uha. 20 points for Vanessa. 20 points. 20 points. Special category girl. You need to fulfill your special category or you can register your team. 20 points. Do I hear a 30 bench for Vanessa 30 by Ajit for Vanessa 30 by Ajit. 30 points by Ajit for Vanessa 30 points. The best, the wicket taker going for 30 points. 40 points. 40 points by Sajid for Vanessa. 50 points by Ajit. 50 points for Vanessa by Ajit. 50 points. ये देखो प्लेयर नहीं चाहिए क्या
फिर ये राउंड होने के बाद जाते हैं. हाँ.
तो प्लेयर नहीं चाहिए
60.
60 पॉइंट बस है
देखो नीचे तो चले जाते हैं. 60.
70 points by 70 points by
Second right है.
70 points by Arsenal on table 70 points by Vanessa 70 points 70 to 1 here and 80 I hear 80 by Alistair 80 by Alistair नहीं चाहिए अपने को 81 80 points by Alistair for Vanessa 80 points on the table special category girl right arm bowler not bowler but okay 80 points for Vanessa 81 82 83 sold Vanessa sold to team All Stars
Team Ronald.
team Grenade 80 points special category girl
Oh, so now Alistair has 900 and he makes 80 whatever and he has only one player
880 and one player
and one. अच्छा ठीक है. एक और टीम थी ना. हाँ.
या फिर मतलब उसका ऑप्शन
ये आगे ऐड कर.
नहीं
पहले ऐड करते हैं.
no समझ गया टेक्निकल रखेगा
क्लियरली.
रिक्सन बोलते कौन सी टीम है रिक्सन इसमें
किधर 14 अच्छा भाई जल्दी चल दे रहा है डेविड okay Joshua the next player in the pool is Joshua which is very contributing member of the parish and
So man has completed the entire youth group.
20 points for Joshua Macman 20 points 30 points by Sidney for Joshua 30 points
जोशुआ हमारा इसमें था
30 points open age
बाल की दुकान।
Joshua
बाल की दुकान
That is Johnny. आगे के साथ रहता है.
okay 30 points for Joshua do I hear a 40
40.
I said for Joshua 40 points 50 points okay 50 points 50 for Joshua 50 points 60 points by Selvin 60 points 100 points by Johnson for Joshua 100 points do I hear another bit by Selvin
120.
120 points by Selvin 120 points by Selvin for Joshua 140 points on the 50 150 points on the table 150 180 points for Joshua 180 points 190 points for Joshua 210 is the current bid for Joshua 210 points for Joshua 210 points 210 for 101 210 220 points for Joshua 40 by Ajit 240 by Ajit
no 240 by him
240 by Johnson 245 Johnson for Joshua 240 by Johnson for Joshua 260 points by Ajit 280 points current bid is 280 points by Johnson 290
is 290
300 points
10.
310 points
330
330 points
50
350 do I hear 360 from Johnson 380 points by Johnson
400
400 for Joshua. 400 points on the table for Joshua by Arjit. 400 points. 420. 420 points.
Pass.
420 points. 1. 422. 423. So Joshua, Johnny. 4. Perfect. 420 points.
जॉनी को कैसे कंप्लीट करना है 835 प्लस
एक लड़की
एक लड़का पास एक लड़की
मिनिमम.
हाँ वही
ओके
Another special category player, girl, Amrina. Amrina is on the table, guys. Amrina.
Just before we go ahead, मैंने कॉल पे बताया था अमरीना का सीन इज फॉर हर दैट रूल इज नॉट देयर. वन प्लेयर टेक सब्स्टिट्यूशन वाला बिकॉज शी विल कम इन. So she has a Tamil mass. We have discussed it and we are all okay with it. So Amrina के लिए the rule does not apply. Wherein left second button.
लगा फिर
Okay, so that rule does not apply. Okay, खाली उसके लिए only for Amrina. So if she comes, she will come at least for the third match for sure. Hopefully second match also. So that is the rule. We'll start I think once Alistair comes.
ऐसे को नहीं चाहिए. ऐसे हो गया ना.
तभी
इसके बाद 900 left होगा ना क्यों नहीं? अरे आने से we'll start.
So we start with the base price for Amrina. Amrina very capable batter. Very good batter. Base bid 2. I have 20 points for Amrina. 20 points for Amrina. 20 by 7 for Amrina. Huh? Open category. 20 points by 7 for Amrina. 20 points to go here or 30. 20 points already there. 30 points.
20 up.
30 by Ajit. 30 points by Ajit. 40 by 7 for Amrina. 50 points. 50 points by Ajit for Amrina. 50 points. 50 points on the table. 50 is the current bid for Amrina. Amrina Thomas 60 points. 70 points by Ajit. 70 points. 70 very valuable points for Amrina. 70 points. 80 points. 90 points by Ajit. 90 points. 90. 100 points by for Amrina by Selvan. 100 points. 110. 110 on the table. Do I hear any challenge? 120, 120 challenge. 130. Do I hear another bid? 130 is the current bid. 130 bid on the table. 131, 132, 133. Sold to Ajit. Amrina Thomas. Sold to Ajit. Amrina Thomas. Special category girl. 130 points. Okay. So Ajit is left with
One goal and 135 plus.
mean is
35 plus.
अभी आर्यन का अगर हुआ ऑप्शन तो हमें बेस बिगिनिंग से शुरू होगा ना
वैसे शुरू होगा.
हाँ
क्या है?
तो
नहीं.
be stupid
that is allowed I'm not doing
ये
it
तो मतलब ही नहीं हुआ ना उसका.
The next up is our very own sponsor for the event, which is Mr. Nancy Dikuna. 35 plus special category. Starting at base price 20 points. 20 points for Mr. Nancy Dikuna. 20 points. Who are here? 20 for 7. 40 by Johnson. 50 by 7. 100 by Johnson for Mr. Nancy. 100 points. 120 points by Selwyn. 140 by Johnson. 145 by Johnson for Mr. Lancy. 150 points by Mr. Selwyn. 150 points. 150 points by Selwyn for Mr. Lancy.
अगर uniformly we can increase the
Okay, do we have 160 here? 160 for Mr. Lancy? 160? Anyone? No? 150 the current bid. 151? 152? 160 by Ajit for Mr. Lancy. 160 points. 170 by Selvin. 170 points for Mr. Lancy by Selvin. 170 points is the current bid. Do I hear 180? 180 points. 180 point. 190. 190 by Selvin for Mr. Lancy. 200 points. 200 points on the table. 200 points on the table. 200 points. Johnny, do I hear anything from Johnny? No challenges. 200 points. 201. 202, 203. So Mr. Lancy sold to Mr. Ajit for 200 points. Special category player.
Two sponsors in the same team. Direct entry to semi-finals.
फाइनल बचना नहीं लगा और लास्ट प्लेयर था एंड वो भी
लड़की.
लड़की
अनायशा है और कौन?
ओह
और एक लड़की है क्या नाम है? उसका लड़का है
हाँ मैं रेचल हाँ रेचल
आगे चल रही उसको लड़के में नहीं करना
वो भी तो है
क्या होता है उससे? पता है कि मैं शीट लेकर आऊँ कौन था? Okay. Next up we have very simple power hitter and Ajit's best friend Justin. Justin on the table for 20 points. Do I hear a base bid? 20 points for Justin. 20 points. We hear 20 points for Justin. Starting with 20 points, 100 points, 100 points by Johnny.
500
500. 500 by Alistair for Justin. 500 points. No. 500 no.
last player
Any other bids? Any other bids? पता है तेरे बाकी को करे?
okay
500 points for Justin. No bids. 501. 502. 503 sold. Justin sold to All Stars for 500 points. Mr. Allison has completed and registered his team for the APL season 2.
Thank you, Alistair. Last to come, earliest to leave.
बट अभी ये कर सकते
वेट
हैं
कर सकते हैं, वेट कर सकते हैं, बोनस
अभी तो छुटा रहा था फिर
वेट कर सकते हैं.
मैं तो नहीं जाएगा 17 में.
कौन इसका हेल्मेट
Yes, so you cannot bid on girls. खाली गर्ल्स पे बिड कर सकता है अपने हिसाब से ओपन कैटेगरी और 35 प्लस पे भी कर सकता है.
Royston Colasso, the best Colasso. Best Colasso, Royston Colasso, open age is on the table for 20 points, base price 20 points. Do I hear any bids? 20 points for Royston Colasso.
20
30 by Selvin, 30 points by Selvin. For 50 by Johnson. 60 by Selvin for Royston. 60 points on the table for Royston. 60 points. Do I hear any other bid? 70. 80 points by Johnson. 80 points. 90 points by Selvin. 100 points by Johnson. 100 points 100. 100 points by Johnson for Royston. 110 by Selvin. 110 by Selvin for Royston. Royston will have 120 points by Johnson. 120 points. 120 points. Do we hear 130? Anyone? Any challenges? 130. 130 by Selvin for Royston Colasso. Johnny is out. 131. 132. 133. Sold. Royston Colasso sold to Mr. Selvin for 130 points. A very few handful players left in the pool, guys. Next up, we have Anthony Open Age. Anthony Open Age starting at 20 points. 20 points, Anthony Open Age. 20 points. Do we hear a base bid? If you all do not bid, he can enter the unsold list of players and then you can bid again.
Anthony कौन है?
देगा ये मैंने
What is over?
No. Open Age.
नहीं, open age.
Okay, 20 points for here a bid. No bids means
20.
he proceeds to the okay. First bid, 20 points for Anthony, 20 points for Selvin. 20 points. Anthony Open Age. Anthony. 20 points for Selvin. 21. 40 by Johnson. 40 points. 41. 42. 43. Anthony to Johnson for 40 points. 40 points Anthony to Johnson.
ये
तेरा
Spin क्या लगेगा? कितना बोलो? आपको ना भी John Hart. Okay.
ऑब्वियसली आता है
आना
ऑब्वियसली
So
मेरे को से लग रहा है लास्ट
के बाद एक करेगा कि 135 प्लस हां
yours how many people you have selected 11 including you na your Liam Nicola is there no yours
हाँ
Vanessa Joseph
yes
Ronnie
हाँ
Justin Benny Darren Metero Binet
को दो वर्षों
सुनना कितने लोग बाकी हैं जी सभी
हाँ
आयशा नहीं ना आयशा किसका है
अलीशा जॉनी में क्योंकि बजट होता है
सेल्फ में तो 35 है ऐसा नहीं है तो चला सेल्फ से बहुत बड़ा है शुक्र है
नहीं नहीं
जानना दे रहा है कितना पास हुआ ना
ओके ऐसा पर्सन है
Guys,
सात नंबर
right, first of all,
रॉयल चैलेंजर्स
1280.
1280 Royal Challengers.
Wolfpack is 120.
एक मिनट
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack is
520.
57. 700 minus 130. Royal is 130, not 180.
Okay.
So Aryan का chemistry रहा डॉक्टर वाला सर
अच्छा वन थिंग चाहिए
पेट के निकले चुके थे
Almost done. Hawks has 380. And Airoli Avengers has
380 थे ना हम लोग को एंड हो गया
both are at 380.
ओके और
I
सर
thought
के
we done now.
The team is
Then team is
I'm
done.
so much.
मेरे को ऐड कर देना
That's the point.
सर से पिकअप पूरा
मैं वही देख रहा था रेंज रहा है कि नहीं
लास्ट क्या बोला कितना बढ़ेगा
380
उसमें कितना मच बना
खाली कम
अरे भाई
कभी 380 हैं ओके मिस्टर आर्यन कोलासो मिस्टर आर्यन कोलासो the worst कोलासो मिस्टर आर्यन कोलासो MVP previously sold for 2000 point means nothing now Aryan starts again at base to right
तो किसको गया
सेल 130 2050
okay Aryan starts at
20
20 points. Aryan starts at 20 points. 20 points for Aryan Kolas. 20 points. Do I hear a base bid? Of course, 20 points for Johnson. 30. Can we just skip to the good part? Do I hear 100 points?
100 juice
100 points. Do I hear 200 points? Johnson, do I hear 200 from you? 200 from Johnson.
220
220 by Selvin. Johnson, do I hear 300 from you? 300 by Johnson.
320
320 by Selvin. 350 by Johnson.
400
400. 400 is the current bid for Aryan, which is very
किसको मिल गया
400 is the current bid. Next up, Johnson. Do I hear anything from you?
तेरे पास
400 is the current bid.
फर्स्ट 50
450 is the current bid for Aryan by Johnson. If Aryan goes to Johnson, 500 is very formidable. 500 by Selvin.
no wait sorry 500
500. What is your this?
perfect
Okay. 500 by Selvin for Aryan Kolas. 500 by Selvin.
520
520 by Johnson. 520 by Johnson for Aryan Kolas. Alistair, do I hear that damage?
understood
उसका भी कैलकुलेशन करके भाई सर
600 600 by Alistair.
700
700.
दिमाग लगा
870
870.
अभी नहीं कर सकता
जो कि
नहीं नहीं
रिडिक्यूल होता
तो एक ही
तो क्यों उतार सकता मैं 870 उसका मैक्सिमम 860 जाना मैंने वो भी कैलकुलेट किया नहीं ये he wants to release second but I don't get against me first
हाँ
मतलब राइटिंग सॉन्ग क्या नहीं बता रहे there is no स्कोर है
हाँ
एक सेकंड अभी तेरे पास कितना है
then we'll see
870 870 is the current bid 870 is the current bid for Aryan Kolas 870 870 is the current bid for Aryan Kolas
so highest score 950 है ना
Scarlett is the highest in Japan and then it's 90
मगर बढ़ते हुए निकल गया टीम से
out
870
आउट
by Johnny for Mr. Aryan Colasso 870 point Aryan Colasso to Johnny to Royal Challengers
ये जितना होगा नहीं मैंने ना इसका नोटिस किया नहीं इसका जो अमाउंट बोला था मैंने इसलिए
तेरा भी टास्क बचा ना क्या देगा एक लड़की
नहीं लेकिन
और एक लड़का प्लस ये मेरा फुल है और सभी कहता वो मेरा ऊपर देख लिया ऐसा मैं आ रहा हूँ
नहीं नहीं it was a good try I think for 500 600
बहुत सस्ता है
I would have gone no I couldn't beat no I would have gone
आपने बहुत जल्दी ले लिया मुझे हाँ हमारा सेकंड ऑप्शन है
नहीं वो तो अच्छा प्लेयर स्टार्टिंग में आना
हाँ
नेक्स्ट
Rachel next up is Rachel special category girl Rachel we start at 20 points do I hear a base bid for Rachel 20 points 20 points
आर्यन मेट को how much
870
20 points for Rachel do I hear
about 410
20 by Selvin by Rachel
410
310
अरे रेचल का बेटा
20 20 for Rachel. Ajit, do I hear anything from you? 20 for Rachel. 30 for Rachel by 30. 30 points. Okay, 30 points by Ajit for Rachel. 31. 32. Alistair Johnny. 33. So Rachel sold to Ajit for 30 points. Rachel sold to Ajit for 30 points.
Anthony Joseph गया क्या इसको
No.
मेरे में
जो गया ना
Anthony Joseph गया.
Joseph ही नहीं गया
Okay. Ajit has fulfilled his requirements and is set and has completed his team. So welcome Ajit to APS.
Thank you. Greatest team assembled with them. Two sponsors.
and Rachel as a cheerleader.
Okay. Next up is special category girl Elita logo. Elita logo for 20 points. Do I hear any bits? Debut season. Excellent bowler. Fast out. Sorry. Right now fast.
Super fast.
20 points for Elita. Elita logo 20 points. Do I hear any bits? 20 points for Elita.
20.
20 points by Selvin for Elita. 20 points. 20 points. Do I hear any other bits? Any increase? 20 points in the base bid. 21. 40 by Johnson. 40 by Johnson for Elita. 40 points. 41. 50 points. 60 points. Do I hear anything from Selvin? Only two remaining. 60 points.
60 is the bid.
60 is the bid. 70 is the bid now. 70 is current bid. Stands for Elita. 100 points for Elita. Elita logo.
कमेंट में आज आंसर
110. 120 for Elita. 130 for Elita by Selvin. 140. Do I hear 50? 50 for Elita. 150. 140 is the current bid by Johnson for Elita. 140 points. 141. 142. 143. Elita logo sold to Johnson for 140 points.
तो फिर अभी एक मिनट
अभी आनी और अनाइशा बचे
दोनों भी तेरे में आएंगे
अगर तुम लोग
कोई नहीं करता है
हाँ तुम लोग बिडिंग करते हो एग्जैक्टली वही तो मेरा दोनों इसलिए आएगा हाँ तुम अपने पहले रूल बनाया था
तुम हमसे we can't build it
तो वेरी टू गेट एरिका
भी दिलेगा वो
हाँ
चलता ना यार 2 मिनट वो तुम लोग
Okay. Next is the Demin. Little power lifter. Demin.
so things are
For 20 points, Demin has entered the field. 20 points. Here the base bid for Demin.
20
20 by Selvin for Demin. 20.
Next shot किसके पास गई?
और 2 मिनट इसमें 2 मिनट भी नहीं है
ये था लेना ना
Okay. So
जानी ना हाँ
Demin for 20 points. Do I hear Demin?
ले ही नहीं सकते ना हम लोग
नहीं
मतलब इसका लोग लेना चाहे तो ले सकते हैं
लड़के नहीं दे सकते ना अपना वही तो होता है
अच्छा है ना?
टारगेट करेगा
22 and 23 sold. Demin sold to Mr. Selvin for 20 points.
कितना
नहीं 20
लेकिन कितना
So goes
अनाइशा है
और तो बचा पूर्ण
सुन रुका आएगा उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है
I need 20 minus 20.
हाँ मतलब एक नहीं ना
मतलब अभी 2 ही प्लेयर बचे एक ही बचा
Joseph and
दो बचे हाँ एक तेरे को चाहिए एक मेरे को चाहिए
अब
जो उसका
भाई बता दे
दोनों का पर्स था दोनों का पर्स था
भाई भाई स्टार्ट
हाँ कर
डेविड का भी पेश कोई बचे
को
2020
ठीक अभी अगर ना समझ हाँ वो बोलते बराबर है अगर समझ में मेल आ गया वेट करने की तो इसका अगर ज्यादा हुआ तो फिर देखते हैं ना अगर इसमें क्रॉस से इसको इसका ही बचे हुआ है
लेकिन मैं करूंगा ही
एक
नहीं
बार लड़की को क्यों करेगा तो पहली बार
नहीं उसका पर्स क्रॉस हुआ है
उसका इससे माइनस किया ना इसकी इससे
नहीं बट वही बनती
भाई भाई कितनी साफ साफ कर दे
मेरा भी फ्रेंड टाइम बाकी है एक पिक्सल कर दे लेकिन मेरा
बैक किया ना हाँ इसके लिए तो पहले
यार वो मत कर ठीक है
बैक टू बैक ना
तो भी ठीक है बाप रे
सो एक लॉयल चैलेंज को चाहिए रीलोड पैक को चाहिए और कोई कर नहीं सकता ना
मतलब they can if they want, but then player release होगा.
क्या हो गया?
So now there are two players left.
हाँ,
तो 35 plus.
हाँ.
You and Anisha can still bid. But अगर तुम लोग में चलना है, तुम लोग हम लोग इतना अपना full bid ना करेंगे.
Okay, the next up
Will have to release the highest
You all
bidder.
will. If you get it. If you get it.
Okay, Neil. Neil is the player in question. Neil. Neil for 20 points.
Neeraj Joseph.
Neil for 20 points. Neil for 20 points. Do I hear any bid for Neil? Do I hear any bid for Neil?
1 minute. How much? I have 510. How much does Johnny have?
He
270.
has 270.
Okay, then I'll wait. I'll wait for Joseph, obviously. Yeah.
Do we have any bid for Johnny or
Yeah.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
मैं चालू किया उसने bid ही नहीं किया.
Yeah, I'm bidding. 20.
How? So now I am not bidding.
अभी फिर ठीक है
20. आपको
20 मतलब फिर कौन निकलेगा?
अरे you bid.
I can take one more, no?
No, you're 11.
आपका टीम बोलो. आपका वो एक प्लेयर एक्स्ट्रा था. हाँ, 45 है. नहीं.
Okay, we have Neil. No bids. Neil. No bids. No bids for now. Neil. Neil logo.
510 है. ठीक है नीड टू जॉनी. ठीक है
Not for.
नहीं ठीक है नीड टू जॉनी हो गया.
Neil to Johnny for 20 points.
और whatever.
And
हाँ ठीक है 270 ठीक है. Joseph
and Joseph.
नहीं, how 270?
Two players.
there are two players there. 510 income हो गया. 270 है.
क्या 270 देके इसको पैसे नहीं बनेंगे?
It has to go proper bidding price to reach 270.
और
Joseph came. I paid my full about 5.
अच्छा,
मैं तो खाली एक ही सोचा था कि लास्ट में रुकूंगा बस. मेरे को था कि एलिटा आनी भी है बट एलिटा थर्ड आ गया.
जोसेफ सेल्विन ना और नील जॉनी ना.
Good option. Not bad. I think सबका team एकदम sorted है.
Yeah.
I don't मतलब
नहीं, it's not like
wait. I think we close the stream first. हाँ but एक बार खत्म कर देते मतलब ये करना. Guys, thank you so much. Most of you have been tuning in. I think we should have a special round of applause for 4 people. One is Ronald. If you could come in the frame, guys. Ronald, Aryan, Selvin Gomez, and Anita Logo. You can wear your jacket and come.
Aryan has to be given special because
Yes.
of the team.
अरे यार एक बार स्क्रीन के सामने आ जाओ खाली. Everyone would come here in this frame. Ronald इधर. 3000 पॉइंट हो गए मैं. हाँ दोनों के 3000 पॉइंट हो गया मैं. हाँ 3000. रिक्सन गया 700 में. Just काम करते हैं. 600 उधर. 1600 में रिक्सन गया. मेरा 3000 पॉइंट है दो बार. Guys, special round of applause for all these people out here as well who've been here with us. I think April 2 is a very successful one. February 23rd, we have jerseys coming up as well. And Anita was the one who was managing all the budgets and made sure that nothing went wrong today, luckily. Thank you so much to Selvin for getting his laptop and his webcam.
You had 530 in the end. How is that?
3 players went for 20, no? 570 minus 60.
Who was the third one?
The greatest seconder in the history of HPCJ. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I think we turned the stream off. We had a lot of viewers as well. And it's really great to see some great teams. I think this time is going to be much more pretty competitive. Very competitive. Obviously with Ronald and Vanessa in the same.
Aryan. ये मैं
मेरे को मालूम था जॉनसन पर आयशा चाहिए था.
नहीं
अच्छा मेरे को लगा तेरे को वो चाहिए था.
मैंने वैसे इसको
लेकिन एकदम बराबर क्या कोई ऐसा बायस कट नहीं किया कि लाइक
नहीं it was fair.
देखा
Honestly, Anita did it. और नहीं चाहिए. But